Hello YouTube, this is Shirley426, and today we have a review of the Gundam Converge EX32, the Psycho Zaku. Now on the box it basically says Zaku 2 High Mobility Type Zaku, but once again we all know this as the Psycho Zaku thanks to the Gundam Thunderbolt series or manga or movie, because yeah, I've actually seen all three of those. Now, I have been waiting extremely long for this figure. Now, I have bought this some time ago, but there was a lot of stuff going on, which this review got delayed, and I'm finally had the chance or time to review it. And also, I was trying to break the usual routine of reviewing an SHF figure and then going into Gunpla or Gundam-related products. Now, for those who remember, I have reviewed the EX13, the full armor Gundam from the Thunderbolt series, and I absolutely love this. And then after reviewing this, I was waiting for its counterpart, the Psycho Zaku, for a long time. But from EX13 to 32, that's a 19 number gap. So yeah, it took a while for them to make this, but it's finally happened. So that's that. So let me just get rid of the box and see what we got. So this is the base figure that you get from the box, and then other than the figure itself, here are the other components. So this is the stuff that you should be getting. Now, I would like to point out a few things. Number one, in the backpack. So for the backpack, you actually do get some parts separated. So number one, among these gold thrusters, like these big 5 ones, and then I believe there's these small 12, not everything, but maybe 2 for each of these boosters. So that's 12, I believe, in total. Wait, no, 2, 4, 6. Oh yeah, so that's 12 in total. You get small thruster parts for the you have to attach 2 of these 2 small thruster parts so that from a plate, and then after that you have to cover these parts up for these long ones. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you also get 6 of those as well. So they are on the small plate, so you use all of them as well. So here is the backpack. I forgot if this part actually had a exact name. So this is the way how it's supposed to look on the back. So you can see we already have all the basics. They actually do give you all the weapons. You get 3 giant bazookas and 2 Zaku machine guns. And then we do actually see some small Sturmfurts, but these yeah, I keep get these pronunciations wrong, but we do get these bombs as well, 3 of them, but they are not detachable, so keep that in mind. And then here we have on the back, this is the main connector. And now this part, I noticed that if you're going to move it, do take these parts off, because these are technically parts forming in, and they do actually give you the the actual claw hands, extended claw hands for the effect. So you do actually have these parts as well, but you have to move these parts to change the position and get it in the right angle. But I suggest you do it without anything on it, because these parts can be pretty stiff, and if you're not careful, you might actually accidentally break a peg off from these parts as well. So that's that. And then other than that, these are the parts you get. So number one, in order to attach that giant backpack, you need to replace the backpack with this on the main Zaku. And then currently, as you can see on the turntable, it is actually on its feet, but I did not expect them to actually give them feet of these types, because you know what? Because this Zaku was never exactly seen walking around unless you count the one where they were experimenting on the frame. So they do actually give you these feet, but they don't really work that well. So because this is currently being balanced by that beam bazooka, but let's say if I put it on front, yeah, it's not really that well balanced. So yeah, so I don't really suggest you do this, but once again, they do give you the stand for the extra balance. So yeah, so you have to swap the backpack with this. And then for those who don't like the feet being on the ground, you have to, of course, you have to change that that action base composition. But you can always change with these type of feet like this, so that so you get the idea he's trying to float around. So yeah, so I'll be actually right back for the first demonstration with the feet on and the backpack with the backpack connected. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So currently I just basically attached the backpack only. I did not actually attach the new feet. So here it is with the action base. So basically the action base doesn't actually connect to anything at this form. There is this back place which it's kind of holding the long booster on the backpack, but that's pretty much it. So in this form, you just pretty much display it with the feet on the ground. So if you want to make an extra custom background with a hanger, that you could technically do that as well. So yeah. So before I start reattaching the feet, before I come back with the new ones and then some extra demonstrations, I think I should go over what the Converge figures are. So this is not my first Converge review, but I'm pretty sure there are always going to be some new people or new people who is not aware about what Gundam Convergers are. So number one, Gundam Convergers are originally a small representation of a certain mobile suit. So these a regular normal Converge would be something like this. It would be about around 5 centimeters in height. Some of them could be 4 to 5, a little bit shorter by 4 centimeters or 4.5 centimeters. And then yeah, this is just pretty much it. You don't actually, these things do technically, time to time there would be some figures that would have articulation, but those are very rare. So number one, you either get one of these bases or the black bases that are on the ground. So the only articulation that you would actually have would be like sometimes head movement side to side, or sometimes these arm movements, and sometimes you can pull off shields, weapons and such, and that's pretty much it. So you get the idea. It's a 5 centimeter figure that you put it on your desk or display it because you actually like the mobile suit and you want to have a small representation. So usually their original prices would be around $6 to $7, so it's not a big expensive figure. Of course, these regular ones would be cheap, but like for example, the one you see in front of you, like the ones that are in these big boxes, they can be pretty expensive. Now this one is not really a good example, but the ones that are pretty expensive are mobile armor types, like the Big Zam as well, and then previously I reviewed a few more as well, like the Queen Mansa. So the bigger the mobile suit is, the more expensive it does get. So this one is also no exception. So the base figure itself is still on that 5 centimeter range. You can move the arm, you can rotate the arm as well because it's on a peg, and then on the other arm, same peg as well, so you are able to rotate them as well. And then this one you can actually pull off the weapons. Now I believe the old ones, some figures would have the weapon and the hand molded together, so you have to pull off the hand like this. So just keep that in mind. And like for Zaku, sometimes you can actually pull off the shield, so as long as you know where to pull. And then this feet one, the part that this one can actually pull off the feet, this is not common. So I believe regular figures does not have this feature, so don't try to pull out the feet of your regular figure like these ones. And then for Zaku's or Mono-Eye mobile suits, they always have these parts where you can actually change the position of the Mono-Eye if you want to do so, like that. So that's pretty much it for this one. Now, actually, yeah, the backpack actually pulled off here. So this is the backpack. Make sure you don't pull out the cables, because at first I was trying to pull the backpack out and it wasn't working. Turns out I was pulling the cables together. So just the backpack itself, like that. All right. So I'll be right back with the demonstrations with the other feet and then with those claw arms as well. Okay, I'm back. So I swapped out the feet and then I reattached I basically changed the composition of the action base, and now the action base, this one's still just holding the long booster, and then the one in the front is actually plugged into the figure. So the feet is the floating one, and I actually use these, I also use the opened up claw arms. They can actually hold the weapons as well, like the machine gun and the bazooka. And if for those who are curious, yes, you can actually you can pull out another bazooka or machine gun and then put it in the regular hand. That you were holding the beam bazooka. And also, yes, if you're curious, I believe with the same logic, you are actually able to put the beam bazooka on top of it like that. And that looks really good. So I did not even expect them to add these small gimmicks. I was just been really satisfied it was just a stature, like a stature type figure. Because recently, one of the EX series that I bought, there was this one specific one I was really disappointed on, because I was hoping it to be a stature type figure, but it actually had too much detail, too much parts, and the manual just didn't make any sense. But I'll get into that later in the future. Now, with this together with the full armor Gundam from Thunderbolt, they look really good together. So one thing I wish that Gundam Converge would improve would be the quality. Currently, I am pretty satisfied. The price, yeah, I wish they would be more reasonable. And then number 3 is that the action bases. I wish they would have action base holes, standard action base holes that you could actually plug in these type of regular pegs that you would usually see in other figures or in Gunpla. So we can actually use these type of action bases for more fun poses or fun situations. And that's pretty much it for the review. So once again, as I mentioned, these type of figures, you don't buy them for the articulation, because there is no articulation. for these most of the time, and then you just want to have a smaller representation, because I know Gunpla is not for everybody. Like certain HGs or MGs, those, some for them it could be small, to others it could be too big, so they want to have smaller stuff. And I would say this is a really fun collection as well. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the review. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.